Hello and welcome to Chair Yoga. In this series, we've been doing a few practices that take cues from animals or creatures in nature. And so we've been emulating them or looking at what qualities they have and how we might bring those qualities to our yoga practice. And I asked all of you who are watching the videos, give me some feedback about what animals you'd like to see. And I had a nice request that was actually a challenge for me. And that was the request of looking at the monkey and seeing how the monkey moves and bringing that into our yoga practice. Well, in fact, there is a pose called Hanumanasana, the monkey god pose. And I looked at that and I said, well, what is it that we really want to get out of those poses, Hanumanasana? Because that's a split. And the split stretches the front of your thighs, the inner thigh, the psoas muscle, maybe a little work in the hip area. So using that knowledge, I put together this practice. So join me as we imitate the monkey. And so we begin with the breath. So we sit tall in our chair. Now I want to remind you that I'm going to change our breathing practice today to something a little faster because monkeys tend to move kind of fast, kind of jerky in a way. And so we're going to do that with our breath. So if that's not comfortable for you or if you have a cold, then you don't want to do that. You just want to come to your nice deep diaphragmatic breathing. So we'll start with that. We breathe in and we breathe out through the nose. Evening out the breath a little. And so in looking at the monkey, they probably breathe like this most of the time, but sometimes they snort. And so we're going to snort here. We're going to take the breath in through the nose and we're going to push it out through the nose with a little noise, with a little speed. Here we go. And pause. How did you do? Did you find yourself snorting? It takes a little practice. I had to take a little bit to get going there. So let's try it again. Here we go. And pause. And just take some nice refreshing breaths now. In through the nose and slowly out through the nose. So as I said, in our imitating the monkey, we want to get into a stretch of the front leg. So the first pose we're going to do is in the chair. We're going to take one foot to the left, send the right leg back and stretch in the front of that back leg. Sitting tall, not leaning forward. And if your foot doesn't reach the ground, make sure you can always put a blanket or a pillow under it. And the more you take this back leg back, the greater the stretch in the front of that thigh. And then we'll just hold it here and we'll breathe. And direct that energy right here. And after maybe 2 or 3 breaths, you can inch the toe back a little bit and deepen the stretch. And here we are in our lunge pose in the chair, which is stretching the same muscles if you were in a split on the floor. We're not going to do a split today, but we're going to use some of those stretches leading up to a split. And then from there, keeping that foot anchored on the ball of the foot in the back, we can come forward in our chair a little bit and start to straighten the front leg. It's not easy, and if you find it difficult, just stay here. Otherwise, kick that heel out, lift those toes towards the shin, and continue to sit tall here. One more breath. And then we'll carefully, holding onto the chair, bring the left foot in, bring the right foot in, and turn towards the front of the chair. Let's do a few cat-cows to kind of realign that spine. Inhaling as you lift, and of course, exhaling here. And then we'll go to the other side. So join me, right foot to the side of the chair here, and then we send that left foot back. And we send it back just so we start to feel a stretch right here, keeping the torso tall. We breathe that energy into the front of the thigh, into the inner thigh here, hip area, and get a good stretch. And then after a few breaths, maybe you can inch those toes back a little bit, deepen that stretch, still keeping the torso nice and tall, and breathe. And then the last part of this is to kick out that right heel in front. Notice I cannot straighten my leg. The chair kind of prevents that, and sending the other leg back. So be mindful that this front leg is not going to be straight. The back leg you can straighten, you can lift it back and up, deepening the stretch here. Holding on to the chair seat for security, balance, stability, yes. Take another breath here. And then exhale and release the right foot in, the left foot in, and turn to the front. And so we'll do a little with the neck. And again, I remind you, we'll go slow at first, and you can always stay with that. But monkeys don't move slow. So we look up and we look down, and we look up and we look down. We're looking at our environment from one corner of the room to the other corner of the room and down. Just move your head around and just take your gaze in all directions, maybe to the right, maybe to the left, starting to speed it up a little bit. And then we'll take it to the right, we'll take it up, we'll take it down over on the left, we'll take it up, and then we'll take it down over on the right, and then we'll bring it back to center. So you feel that energy in your neck, and be mindful. You can move slowly at first, just moving around, or you could start to speed it up and move with the speed of a monkey. And remember, there's all kinds of monkeys in the world. I think there's 260 species of monkeys. And so we could be any one of them, right? And we could practice like any of them. All right, so next thing I'm going to do is stand and use the seat of the chair for the rest of our practice. So before we start with the seat of the chair, we just want to loosen up. So we're going to stretch over to one side, left hand to the right, and then cross your body with the right and reach over in the other direction. I'm lifting the heel and turning away from, keeping the knees soft here, side to side. And yes, we could move like a monkey and speed it up a little bit here today. Reaching up, reaching down. Maybe those fruits are on the ground, maybe you're reaching for a banana in the tree, or maybe you're just getting a little movement in the ribs. And then we'll come to stillness and just pause. And we'll take a moment to let that energy go out to all of our limbs, out to our fingers, into our toes as we stand in mountain pose. And then the next thing we're going to do, we're going to use the seat of the chair today. So have the back of the chair away from you, the seat of the chair towards you. And I'm going to put my chair more on my mat here. And then we're going to place our hands right down onto the chair, coming into a down dog type position. I'm separating my feet and bending my knees so I could lift my tailbone up into the air and drop my chest towards my thighs a little bit. Feeling some work in the hands here as it supports my upper body. Taking a few breaths, and then come all the way back up, bend, walk it in, come back to your mountain pose. Now the next thing I'm going to do is do what I call a monkey walk, right? So we're going to make fists and walk on our knuckles. So place your knuckles into the chair and have your feet just a little bit away from the chair. So we'll do the hand walk first. So using your fist, walk one forward, walk the other forward. Maybe 2 or 3 times. We don't have a lot of room to move, and then walk it back one at a time. So the chair doesn't allow us to have a lot of room to do this in, but we can make use of it. And now, keeping your hands about 3/4 of the way into the chair, we're going to take that right foot back, and then we'll take the left foot back. Now, how far back you go depends on your stability with your fists into the chair. So they could be little steps. So now we're going to step it back in and step it out one at a time. Now, combining that, we're going to take right hand to the middle of the chair, left foot back, and then the left hand into the middle of the chair and the left foot back, and then we'll bring it back. So right, left, right, left. Let's do that again. Right hand, left foot, left hand, right foot, and then walk it back in. Right hand comes towards you, left foot comes in, and right hand and left hand, and right foot. Let's do it again. Let's see if I can get it right. Okay. Right hand, left foot. Left hand, right foot. Right hand, left foot. Left hand, right foot. There we go. And we'll roll it up and just roll those shoulders around. So that's kind of hard on your shoulders, but it will strengthen them. And maybe that's one of the things we want, because Hahnemann was strong. He didn't know how strong he was. Strong not only in his body, but strong in his determination. And so check out that Facebook story as soon as I post it. And, check out why he was so strong and why we consider him so strong. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a chimpanzee walk, which is not straight forward and back, but to the side. So once again, I'm going to use my fists into the chair and 2 or 3 inches into the chair. So you're pushing down with the fists, and then we just take the feet over to one side, and then we walk it back to center, and we take the feet over to the other side, just like that. And you can move the hands or keep them center. I'm moving mine now side to side, center, side. Are you ready? So the next part is to give it a little energy. Let's try it. So fists are down and we step over, fists down, we step over. It's a tiny little hop for me. Over, might not be a hop for you. Center, side, center, side. Back to center, and then roll it up into our mountain pose. How did you do? Shake those hands out, squeeze and open, release those knuckles, release those wrists. Very, very good. So moving like a monkey now, aren't we, right? With a little bit of energy today, because that's what a monkey has. They have that fast, quick energy. It's probably from all the fruits they eat. All right, so we stand tall. We've got one more practice here, actually 2. One that's going to be a lot of fun at the end of class, so stay with it, even if you want to just watch this next part. The next part is going to be our split. Now, I invite you to try it with the back of the chair. I'm going to use it with the seat of the chair today. I'm going to take my hands. They can be flat, or again, you could be on your knuckles. I'm going to have mine flat. And I'm going to take my right leg straight back as far as it'll go. Starting my split here, lifting, lifting, lifting. And don't worry about how far you lift, but think about the weight that's in that standing leg. And you're taking this other leg up and back, nice and straight. Getting into what's called a standing split. And then we bring it down, and we'll try it on the other side. Sliding it back and up as far as it'll go for you, and then lowering it back down. So as in yoga, let's connect that with the breath. Inhale the right leg up, exhale it down. Draw the belly in for stability. Inhale the left leg up, exhale it back down. Remember, it doesn't matter how far, just connect with your breath here. Inhaling as the leg comes up and exhaling as the leg comes down. One more time on each side. If you're using your fists, it might look like this. and then down. Bend the knees, roll up to mountain pose. For the next part, you might want to have the back of the chair towards you for stability. But we're not going to use it. I'm not going to use it, but it's there in case we need it, right? And we're just going to move our hips a little bit. So move them side to side. Get loose with your hips here. And then we'll move our arms up and down. Keep the hips steady first. Move the arms up and down. Maybe one comes up and the other comes up. Maybe we bounce into our knees as we do this. Is this starting to look familiar to some of you? Are you moving your hips now? Getting your hips involved. And guess what we're doing? Hey, hey, we're doing the monkey right here. Yes. Hey, hey, we're doing the monkey. It was a dance in the 60s. And yes, I'm from that era, so I remember it. Do you remember it? It's nice and loose, and it's just swinging the arms up and down and just kind of being nice and loose. You can make a fist if you want. I'm just kind of opening the hands to shake them out here a little bit. And then moving the hips. So the arms are going up and down, and the hips are going side to side, opposite of the arm that comes forward. Hey, hey, are you doing the monkey? And then we'll come to pause. And we'll take those hands up and we'll stretch up, reach high for that fruit in the tree. And the other side. And float the hands down. Let's do that again. Starting on the left, we'll reach up this time. And then we'll reach up with that right arm. And then we'll float them both down and pause. So today we moved a little quicker than usual, coming back into our chair to close out our class, imitating the monkey. Bringing the breath back down to its nice even breath here. Take a few moments. Even after the video ends, you might want to just stay in your chair and do a little breathing in and out. And if you're ready, take your hands together and rub the palms. And then, well, do you remember this one? See no evil, speak no evil, do no evil. The three monkeys. Namaste.